Welcome, Andrew, to the CEO Global Network podcast. It is great to have you with us. I know you're a very busy person, and so we really appreciate you being with us here today and sharing some of your thoughts about the solar industry and about leadership with us. And for those on the call and those who are watching, Andrew is the Vice President and General Manager of PCL Solar at PCL Construction. And so thanks again, Andrew, for being with us.
Thanks for having me, John.
First question I have for you today is you've helped lead PCL Solar to close to 10 gigawatts of utility scale projects, which is huge. What is one project that maybe pushed the boundaries of what you thought was possible in this business?
I'd say it's really hard to pick just one. We like to think we're always pushing boundaries with our projects, trying new things and trying to do things better each time. But if I had to pick one, it'd be the Traverse project in Canada, in southern Alberta. It still remains Canada's largest project. We built that from first pile in the ground to last panel in about 16 months. So we were flying about 12,000 PV modules a day at peak production, and great partnership with some Indigenous labor from the nearby areas, some skilled craft bussed in from some of the major city centers, and some great rural folks joining in the construction on that one. But just the scale of it, the fence line was a marathon long, and the pace that we built it was really impressive. Great quality project.
Yeah, that is impressive, no question about it. Now, PCL has expanded solar across Canada, throughout the U.S., Australia. How does building in different markets shape your approach to, number one, leadership, and number two, execution?
I'd say number one, leadership. People generally need the same things from their leaders, regardless of what country you're working in, regardless of what business you're in, construction or other businesses. Leaders tend to have the same qualities and get the better results with the same attributes. So I'd say I take the same approach when I'm leading the teams in the US as I take as when I'm leading teams in Canada and leading teams in Australia. The one thing you have to be a little cognizant of the differences in the culture, making sure that we continue to drive our culture forward and maintain the culture that's made us very successful in PCL and in PCL Solar specifically, while appreciating that you're going to have some subcultures in each community that you're working with. So embracing that, understanding that, and still being able to reinforce the positive culture that we want to see on our job sites is paramount. Execution, it all comes down to the same methods, regardless of which country we're working in. There's some different approaches for sure. And what we find is over time, as people get more and more experience, the differences tend to fall away and people are doing it in a more routine way and sharing the knowledge between the countries. So we have people come from Australia. Subcontractors will come and see what we're doing and self-performing in projects in Texas and learn from our crews and vice versa. So sharing that expertise across the three countries, you kind of find the best way of doing things, and you rinse and repeat, and you keep building upon that.
Yeah, rinse and repeat. Yeah. Now, when you think about the legacy of your work, Andrew, in renewable energy, what do you hope people remember about your work?
So if I think about what the lasting impression I want to leave, or what people think about me when I'm gone, is I want them to always see that I bring a positivity to everything I touch, and I'm always trying to drive things forward. And then, of course, just being a people first person. So always focused on developing our people as quickly as we can, giving them opportunities to strive, and finding that spark inside them that makes them a better person than maybe they even thought they could be. And that's better person all around in their personal life, in their business life, and so on. So I spend a lot of my time volunteering and working with different communities as well. And leaving a lasting positive impression is what I want people to think of.
No, that's fantastic. That's wonderful. Now, you and your team at PCL Solar, you've delivered over $6.5 billion in projects. How do you balance the scale of those numbers with the human and community impact of renewable energy? How do you balance those?
It's humbling sometimes to think about where we started and where we are today. And certainly we've exceeded our expectations. I've exceeded my own expectations with how quickly we've grown, but that's not a direct result of my effort. It's a direct result of our entire team's effort and the each one teach one philosophy. And that's really the only reason we've had so much success, is our people's ability to teach and to mentor and to guide younger and newer staff into successful leaders themselves has been our sustainable advantage.
Yeah, that is a sustainable advantage, no question. What was the turning point when you knew that solar was where you wanted to focus your career or focus this part of your career? What was the turning point there for you, Andrew?
And it's a fun question because when I started writing a renewable energy business plan with a couple others inside PCL, we thought solar was going to come and go really quickly, and we thought we were going to have a lot of success in wind and then bioenergy. I couldn't picture a world where we weren't using a material to create energy as opposed to just harnessing the sun or the wind. And we had a lot of success in solar, and the costs drove down, and we found creative solutions. And I think it was probably around I'd say 3 or 4 years into it, when we saw the cost rapidly decline, how quickly we can deploy solar energy into the grid, and just the positivity around it, and the fact that you can continue to farm the land that you're building this stuff on makes a lot of sense for everybody, I think. And I just saw the entire world start the big shift, which was exciting to me. Opening up the only operating entity PCL has in Australia, being specifically focused on solar and battery energy storage, was a huge step into the right direction for me of growing our footprint, and something that really strikes as a big moment in my career. But yeah, it was probably 3 or 4 years in, so in and around the 2013 timeline.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Andrew, I got one last question for you, and it kind of ties into some of the things you've said already. But when future generations look back at today's solar leaders, including yourself, what do you hope they say about your work and its impact on the world?
That's a big question. Again, I hope they view what myself and others are doing as very positive, not just for the communities we're working with and for the people we're working with, but for future generations as well. And ultimately want to see us as adaptable leaders who are constantly challenging ourselves to be better every day, and to change, and not being afraid of change. And I think this entire industry is full of leaders who have taken a risk on something new, and it's paid dividends. And we need to not forget that as we're looking forward as to what might be coming down the pike, and ultimately how we have to adapt and change to stay relevant, and to make sure we're continuing to challenge ourselves and take risks for the greater good of the communities we serve and future generations.
Yeah, no, that's terrific, Andrew. Congratulations on everything that you've achieved so far in your career. Right, I remember when we met a number of years ago. You've had just a tremendous journey since that time. So congratulations for all your success. Thank you so much for being with us today on the CO Global Network podcast. Great to have you with us. We really learned a lot from this last few minutes together. Thank you very much.
Thanks, John. Really appreciate the time.